Hey, sweetie. Um, are are you okay? Oh, no, I mean, you seem fine for the most part. I don't know, maybe a little tired, but well, okay. I'm just I'm a little worried. Well, yeah, worried. Huh? Oh, yeah, no. I know you said that, if you needed to talk, you would, but I also know that, like, just in general, you don't really like to show weakness or that maybe you're hurting, you know? And really, you always do really well on your own, and I know you don't often ask for help, and yet you're always the first to help anyone who needs it. And well, on top of that, you never usually complain, but you'll also be the first to lend an ear into the wee hours for me or your friends. And honestly, sweetie, I've really admired you for that. And it always makes me feel like you're this, I don't know, maybe like a big wolf, just protecting their pack and being proud and strong and dependable. But in the vein of that analogy, I guess something about, my big, powerful wolf has got my attention, I guess, and given me pause. Hmm? Oh, well, I mean, I feel like, like you're wounded. I don't know, like you're hurting somehow, and I worry that you won't bring it up, you know? I mean, I've been noticing this for a bit now, and I've been waiting, but still, I know when things go wrong or you get too stressed out, you sometimes have the tendency to, self isolate until you resolve the issue yourself or that issue goes away. The trouble is, well, I have my own guesses about what might be wrong, but, well, speculation does fuck all in situations like these, and so I just wanted to maybe, I don't know, maybe talk it out a little? Just a little. Hmm? Yeah, I know, baby. I know you aren't really one to talk about your feelings. And I know you prefer to show me your love through all these things you do for me. They show me that I'm on your mind. And I always appreciate that. I do. Sweetie, I love you so much. And I've told you before, I've never felt like this with anyone at any time ever before. And I know even for me sometimes that, well, these feelings can get a little, overwhelming. Honestly, it still feels like a dream, to just be with someone as sweet and considerate as you. Even after all this time, well, there's that cynical, scared side to me that is, well, just waiting to wake up from such a beautiful dream, you know? And I'm not saying that we've never had issues or, something like that. But, well, you know as well as I do that my home life wasn't exactly considered stable either. So just being able to work through issues like adults seems like a fairy tale to me. Like, just recently, even, we've been getting really close, right? I mean, we moved in together 2 years ago, and I thought I felt really close to you then, more than ever, but recently, I don't know, we've just had this crazy type of synergy with each other, and again, it's nothing like what I've experienced with anyone else. Remember when I said I kind of felt weird about how well things had been going over the past year or two, and I found myself starting to worry again that it might be too good to be true? Yeah, and you reassured me back then, remember? Yeah, okay, so, well, you see, I also noticed recently that you've started to rely on me a bit more for mundane things in your life. Or, well, you had been. I mean, I know you've always prided yourself on being really independent, so maybe I was a little shocked when you started trusting me to take care of things around here. Whether, it was paying a bill when you usually took care of it, or I don't know, even asking for that back rub after you worked on the car all weekend. I know that back when we first started dating, you, you would never ask for stuff. And you really wouldn't let anyone help you either. Even just getting you to go see the doctor was a bit of a struggle sometimes. And, well, I've I've seen that's changing recently with you showing me the areas where you need no, no, need isn't the right word. I've noticed you've started showing me areas in your life where you would appreciate, a helping hand, or even when you would just like me to lend you an ear, and honestly, that that made me feel really good. I love that you can depend on me for things like that. Even though I was surprised and honestly a bit giddy about it. I'm not trying to make it a big deal or anything. Really, no, I think maybe I wasn't the only one that was a little surprised that things had started to change. I think I think maybe you hadn't really put much thought into it until I had pointed it out, and, well, like, maybe you hadn't realized how relying on me had become something that you'd been doing more consistently, because, well, when I mentioned it, I don't know. I saw this flash of like a muted panic come over you just really quickly, Like most of your face remained stoic and like just normal expression, but there was just the smallest tenseness that left as quickly as it had come, yes, and honestly, I would have thought I'd imagined it, but since then, well, I've noticed that you've started pulling away a bit more and exercising some more of your independence when you used to ask me to do things? So, I don't know, I guess the question is, are you worried about something? And look, I know that your first answer is going to probably be something reassuring, but I've seen how well you can hide the vulnerable parts of you. I also know that your first goal in almost any relationship you have, whether it be with me or your friends or your coworkers, I don't know, it's like you make it your job to make sure that the other person is okay, even at your expense. But I just I want to I want to make sure that you're okay. I don't want you to just reassure me because that would be the thing that should be done, you know? I know that you grew up in a household where you couldn't really depend on anyone but yourself. And I know that a lot of people who should have been there for you unconditionally have let you down, and so you've come to believe that it's often best for you to rely on the one person who won't abandon you, which of course is yourself. And I also know that those who should have loved you again unconditionally were the same ones who seemed to only give you love when you showed only the best parts of yourself, and they only wanted the parts that were most useful to them in that moment. So I I know that the fear of abandonment for being supposedly less than perfect often keeps you guarded, and it makes you hide your vulnerabilities. Not only because some people didn't find you supposedly worthy when you weren't perfect, but I know there were other people who saw those vulnerabilities and exploited them to get you to do what you didn't want to do or shouldn't have to do. And still there were others that would use those weaknesses to guilt you into situations that no one should have put you in. I just wanted to say that I understand why you do these things. So when you realized that you were depending on me more, were you, I don't know, were you worried that it might only be a matter of time before I dropped you for revealing these vulnerabilities? Maybe you were scared I'd use something against you? Hmm? More the former than the latter. Well, that's a relief at least. Huh? Oh, no. I'm genuinely glad that you know I'm not that kind of person. That I wouldn't use these things against you. But I do understand if you worry about, me seeing you open up like that. But, sweetie, let me just assure you, I don't just love the perfect you. I love all of you. All your imperfections, all your vulnerabilities. All of those pieces of you make up the whole you that I just love so much. And I'm not saying this expecting you to go back to the way things were, like, immediately or anything. No, I know that opening up like this can oftentimes leave us feeling, well, like feeling a bit raw and exposed, and of course the next logical thing is to try to protect yourself because, well, it's better to be safe. Well, it feels better anyway. I just I I want you to know that I really appreciate getting to see this side of you. Even if just for a little bit. But I also know that all the promises in the world don't really amount to much. Not after so many people have broken them and hurt you for it. But I want you to know that I'm here to stay. I'm in this for the long haul, sweetie. And if you need proof, if you need to, test the waters, and maybe some days you take 2 steps forward and feel a little overwhelmed or something, and the next day you end up taking a step back, well, that's just fine by me. You show me you love me through your actions, right? And you often tell me that talk is pretty cheap, so I'll show you with my actions that I can be someone you can give your trust to. I'll show you that it won't be misplaced. I'll be by your side through thick and thin, waiting patiently and loving you the entire time. Oh, sweetie, did you really ask why? Sweetie, you poor precious thing. You are an amazing person, and I love you. I love you so much, and I want the world for you, and I'd give you the world if you wanted it, but if all you need is a bit of time, then of course I'd be more than happy to give it to you. You take as much as you need, and I'll be waiting right here, my hand in yours the entire way. Okay? Okay, good. Now, I know that this is a bit much for you to process all at once, so I think I can just leave it at that, and if you want to talk about this some more in the future, then I'm all ears, okay? But I won't try to bring this up again until you feel more comfortable with it. Alright? Good. I do love you, sweetie. You mean the world to me. Now, I should probably go get dinner started before it gets any later. Does spaghetti and meatballs sound good? Okay, sweetie. I'll go get to it then. Oh, and while I'm headed to the kitchen, did you want anything? A drink, maybe? A beer, perhaps? Of course, sweetheart. I'll be right back.